like
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out and my boobs are leaking, and you're thinking about it. Come on. Hey, postpartum body odor, please. It's just something else. But Mitchum to the rescue. Okay. Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to our channel, The Masegos. I am Michelle.
And I am Anele.
And on today's video, we will be covering an interesting topic, something that we've been through twice. And we hope you guys enjoy and can learn something from it, be it if you're about to enter that next phase in your life or for future reference. So before we dive into it, we just want to say thank you, as always, for watching, for the support, for subscribing. We appreciate it. We love you guys. And yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with whoever you think may need it. So yeah, without further ado, what are we talking about today, Mr. Masego?
How to best support your partner during postpartum.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be very useful for the gents, as I'm going to do a lot of contributing.
And I'll just be chiming in with my little 2 cents here and there. But just to give a little background before Anele takes the floor on why this is important to cover. I think often when a new baby is welcomed into a family or a couple's life, a lot of focus is on the baby naturally, without much focus on the mom. I know there's a lot of discussion around it now. And I just want to continue the conversation and just give practical, simple things, that you can do to best support your wife, your partner, as they navigate this new phase of their lives. We've touched on it briefly in how pregnancy changed our marriage video. It was a very lengthy video, so we understand maybe there was just a lot shared that we couldn't really go into detail, or you guys may have forgotten. So we just thought to dedicate a special video just addressing how important it is to be there for the mom, really support her into this huge transition, because personally, being a mom myself, you go through so many changes, your body experiences so much, lack of sleep, lack of your own body because you're feeding. If you're breastfeeding, you're still healing, you're bleeding, to be a little graphic. There's just so much. If you had a C-section, you're recovering from a scar. If you had a vaginal birth, you're recovering down there as well from pain. It's just so much. And then emotion-wise, you have this new baby who's looking to you, and usually not much emphasis is put on how the mom is feeling. It's just all about the baby. The excitement is around the baby. Gifts are for the baby. Everything is about the baby. How's the baby? How's this? Even with like external family members and friends, it's just about the baby without really focusing on the mom. Like, how are you? Are you okay? Are you coping? Are you mentally fine? And yeah, I've been on that end, or that side, and I'm thankful to him. That's why I really wanted to have this video, because had it not been for him and the way he supported me in that phase where it was really difficult, first time around especially, I don't know how I'd have made it through, to be very, very honest, because you just go through so many emotions. You love this new baby. It's just like, wow, God, thank you so much. But at the same time, there's just so much you're going through. Your body's changed, so many things. It's a lot, guys. But yeah, I could go on and on. I was just giving a little background on why this is such an important topic and why you need to consider the new moms in your life, especially as a partner, as a husband. This video is mainly about how the husband, someone who's directly intimate with you, the co laborer in, in having this baby can support, just so you're there for your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's something important that you probably might need to repeat there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have gone. What?
Oh my
Just
goodness.
yeah, I don't think I heard you properly then.
Oh please, I say the same all the time. Please
Oh.
be serious.
All right, guys. No,
Yeah.
and just maybe before I delve into it, just to address also the guys. I know there are some guys who are probably watching now and thinking, yeah, 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 that's true about the mom. But even with the dad, they
Mm,
go through emotions as well.
yeah.
It's changes. It's huge changes,
It's
especially if
a
it's your
lot.
first child. Huge changes, huge adjustments, and a whole lot of challenges that you are now introduced to.
Mm,
And yeah, and as the man, you're expected to hold it together. So yeah, but we won't touch on that. We're gonna look at the mom, and
yeah.
maybe
In
we'll
this
have another
video,
video
we
where
will touch on the dead,
yeah,
just so that we can
yeah,
make sure you guys.
yeah, so that
It's
they
not
don't
too
call me a
long.
simp. Suppressing his own emotion. No, no, no. Just the purpose of this video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as Misha has already started out, there's a lot of things that happen, a lot of changes that you look. It is all about change, basically,
Yeah.
and these things come at you. And we did touch on the pregnancy bit, you know. So you get introduced to the pregnancy section,
Mm,
and then when the child's finally here, you think it's going to be that. But actually, it's actually a bit more than
it's like,
pregnancy. It's a lot more than
it's like,
pregnancy because
mm,
with pregnancy, you could determine or dictate when you sleep. Now things change. Now there's a sleeping
mm,
pattern that needs to be established.
yep.
That pattern is a pattern that's not really a pattern.
You
It's
know,
just, you
you're
just,
just thrown into the fire,
yeah,
and
you
you
need
just
to
need
pick
to
your sleep
you
time
need to jump
wisely. Yeah,
and dodge the flames, or you're just like me, swim, and
yeah.
now you must just find a way to
Oh,
float. Yeah.
and yeah, and I guess that's the biggest one, sleep, eh? Because look,
Mm,
if you're not well rested, you're not going to be the best version of yourself.
mm,
So sleep is very important. You need to structure your sleep very well
mm,
in terms of when you are able to get those naps, take them, you know, because the baby, you can't predict them at that stage when they're still very new in the world. They're confused as well. They're
yeah.
used to a dark place. Now all of a sudden there's light and all these changes that they
Mm,
are experiencing compared to the womb, so they're very fussy.
yeah.
They hardly sleep for long periods,
Mm,
so you have to expect your sleeping sessions not to be long. They'll be quite short.
yeah.
And then when they wake up, they're not here to discuss, chat, or have
They
a
want
great
whatever they
time. They
want
wanna
now.
eat.
Yeah.
They wanna eat or change or something.
Yeah.
And at first, you obviously not understand what's going on, and it's gonna be very frustrating because all you're getting is this person whose eyes are wide open, their mouth is wide open, and they're screaming at the top of their lungs.
Mm,
And it's like, what the hell are you saying? What do you want? You know. So for gents, you just need to be patient and you need to take charge of those situations because if the mom's breastfeeding, for instance, you can't feed the baby, you know.
yeah.
So you're gonna see how heavily dependent the child is on the mom.
Mm,
And so don't take that as, oh, all right, that's my free time.
yeah.
Yeah, because one thing that women tend to feel during that period is isolation. They tend to feel like they're alone.
Mm,
They feel like you're distant, even when you're not. But that feeling just does come about purely because of the challenges that they are facing and the demand that the baby is presenting to them.
yeah.
And it's very difficult to sate that demand. So
Mm,
they go through a lot of frustration. So don't disappear during that time. You always need to be close by. Always keep asking, what can I do to help? I think the nice thing that happened with us is that first time around, we had family, so I could monitor and see and help out, and while my mom's also helping out as well, those
Yeah.
kind of things.
I would say though, the family help was probably a bit later on.
Mm,
So just to reel it in,
yeah.
initially, I think first time around it was harder, um, for me personally in those first few weeks
Okay.
because he had to work a bit, so I was alone. Yes, I was with my in-laws and my mother-in-law was helping me, but um, being a new mom, I wasn't able to, like, especially at night when I'm struggling and she's just waking up, it was difficult. And he, like, had to go work, so he was in our home, closer to work, and I was at my in-laws during the week. I think just for the first week or two, and that was
Mm,
like just really difficult navigating those sleep patterns a bit. So I wasn't open enough to get that assistance that I needed at night because I'm a new mom. I'm trying to figure it out on my own. So he's right about being vocal, but I think practical things that you can do, like, oh, what happened now the second time around, is just like so that we give you practical tips and not just explain the whole process.
mm,
Is when I woke up for breastfeeding, for example, he can step in and like maybe change the baby straight after or burp her or even just stay up with your wife while she's actually breastfeeding at night. Because the first time around when I was breastfeeding and he was asleep, you can feel yourself getting like a bit upset because like, you know, so things like that. And that's where I needed to be vocal because sometimes it's like, if you're going to ask, what can I do? What can I do? That's just not enough. Take proactive action, which
mm,
he did the second time around more. And that helped more, if I'm being honest. Like, understand you want to ask. Sometimes just do.
mm,
Like, don't just ask. Yes, you can ask sometimes if you're a bit confused, and yes, that's where I can support him. That's where I can come in with elements of supporting him as a new dad, in like guiding him and being, not expecting him to know and being patient when he uses five wipes to change, for example. But like, you need to be proactive. So I think the second time around there was just a lot more proactiveness to be like, okay, um, we started pumping earlier and I was able to pump. So at night he'd take the feed. During the day I was breastfeeding. At night he takes the feed. That's like one like practical tips. But yeah, I just wanted to give practical tips also, like
all right.
how we can navigate that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I wasn't awful the first time around, but I was very new
No.
and just
Yeah.
very,
So obviously the first
very
time
tough.
around you can ask questions, but
Yeah,
just like to avoid now having figured it out by the second time around,
yeah,
for first time dads, just be proactive and be like,
yeah,
okay, stay up, let me do this, let me take over
yeah.
this, let
Just know
me,
what
yeah.
what the sequence is when the
Mm,
baby wakes up. It's normally predictable,
yeah.
because they would wake up, maybe they would be hungry, or they would wake up because they're uncomfortable while they're sleeping, so they need a change, and
Mm,
every time after they have had a feed, you need to burp them,
you can take over that
learn how to
process.
burp them.
Mm,
Yeah, those kind of things, very important.
mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, and another thing is don't be afraid to try, like don't be afraid
Mm,
to do things. I always had it, it's my baby,
mm.
so what the doctor said, when I think I shared with you guys, I couldn't hold a baby. So, so the doctor asked me, "Do you want to hold her?"
You're
I said, "Yes,
like,
I do want to hold her,
but I
but I don't
can't
know
know
how
how.
to."
I think our subscribers know that now.
Yeah. So then the doctor was like, "No, look, this is your child. If you want to drop them, you drop them. It's your child." Yeah. She said, "You hold them the way you want to hold them. I'll just show you, and then it's up to you. Like, just have confidence. It's your child." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Mm,
So same kind of encouragement as well. It's your child. Do what you're doing, and it's very important that you are learning.
mm-hmm.
You're learning and understand that, and but still have the confidence to try things out, because if you um, decide not to do anything because you are afraid or worried.
Or you think she's got it? She does
Yeah,
not have it. Please,
yeah.
I think a lot of us have, as moms, present. A lot of people present as if they're fine. Never mind just maybe on social media, but even in real life, she can present as if she's fine. That's where I'm saying be proactive and step in and take charge. If the baby's clothes are dirty, wash them. If it's dirty around the house, maybe she's like, especially those first few days, make sure that she doesn't have to also worry about, like, if there's no help around you, she doesn't have to worry about cleaning, she doesn't have to worry about dishes, she doesn't have to worry about food.
You're getting into my point.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, you can elaborate.
As I was saying, you stop. Do things, things like, well, you've already touched on that.
I'm sorry. Be proactive, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, don't be afraid to not try things, even if maybe you have different roles,
Mm-hmm.
before the baby comes. Like for instance, I'm the dishwasher, and
I'm the
she's
cook,
the cook.
I'm the chef.
So, um, that was our normal. But
Mm.
things changed now. When the baby came, she couldn't cook. So I would have to cook at times as well. I'll still continue washing the dishes, and it needs to be clean as well because that's a very important thing. The woman needs to feel relaxed and comfortable,
Mm.
so that
It just clears the
while she's
mind as
dealing with the
well.
frustration that
Yeah.
the baby is presenting, the house is
It's a clean
clean. She's not
environment.
worried about whatever, some things that could also frustrate her, which
Mm.
don't really relate to the baby. So that's where you
Mm-hmm.
as the man need to take charge. um, make sure those things are make sure things are clean, make
Mm.
sure things are arranged well, make sure
Mm-hmm.
you if there are new things like baby things, you put them where they belong, and she knows
Yeah.
where they are as well, because like little things, they tend to cause massive problems,
And just be patient
where,
with her as well.
yeah,
Like,
like you're just
yeah.
looking for nappies. And now someone else put the nappies elsewhere. It's very frustrating, and
Yeah.
that
And
thing can just
when you're
trigger a
sleep
big fight.
deprived, you
Exactly.
literally get
Yeah.
pissed off at anything when you don't have sleep. Hey, sleep
Yeah.
is so important, guys.
Yeah.
Lack of sleep is not a joke.
It's very
So
important.
you need to be like, especially if she's a breastfeeding mom. And I think with those who use formula,
Mm.
it's very easy then to tag team because it's like, yeah, okay, can shift, like you can split it down the middle because there's
Yeah.
formula. When it's a breastfeeding mom,
Hey.
try and give her space where she can have like autonomy to her body. Maybe if she decides, so some women decide to exclusively breastfeed, meaning that they don't even bottle feed. It's just straight up boob all the time.
Mm.
In that case, yeah, then you have to make sure, because that means that baby is on her all the time.
Mm.
Imagine.
Hey.
So as soon as she's done feeding that baby, take that baby, burp the baby. Like as much as like you mentioned, make sure everything around the house is top notch.
Mm.
Like you just as a woman also need space to yourself because it can drive you mad. Like literally, there's someone on you all the time. Yes, you love this person, but yeah,
Mm.
because I think with Ayaka, I exclusively breastfed her for like what until I started the bottles. I think it was probably we did introduce bottles soon because of the pumping.
Mm.
So maybe it was like 2 weeks or something. And I was just like, okay, where's the pump? It's time to pump. It's too much. So as much as you can allow, it's just healthy. It just gives her time to breathe, being able to shower. Like if she, like yeah, I don't want to get into your points.
Yeah.
I'll just suppose.
So
Like, yeah.
yeah. Also, you need to bath the baby. Yeah, because that's
Mm.
also quite important. With me initially, I was very afraid.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
remember.
was very afraid. I was always thinking, oh, what if I drown this child or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you try it out, it really it's very beneficial once you have taken
Or
that
to
initiative to
assist.
bath the
Yeah.
baby, and
And I would say, sorry, just to cut you, with a woman who's had a C-section, for
yeah.
example, your back, it's so painful, like to be. And I remember, especially the first time with Amava, I struggled, like bathing her. I really needed that help, and sometimes I'll try brave it out. But
Mm,
even if she doesn't voice it out, if your woman has had a C-section,
mm.
please just assist with the bathing. You can even take it over. Like, I'm sure in the beginning phase, you're still like scared because they're small, they're slippery. Assist, make sure you're learning it as time goes, take over majority of that bath time so that she can like rest and heal because like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's very important as well what she's addressing with the C-section. She's talking about braving it. I don't like that. Guys, make sure no one's braving nothing. You know,
Yeah.
the graphic that I would give you is that this person was just torn apart. Like they were open up. You know, if you've seen it, for those of us who've seen it, you'll see that this person was ripped apart. The intestines was, you know, and then there
He's
was
seen
sewn
everything
back.
of me. He's seen everything inside out.
Yeah, and there was sewn back. And now
Yeah.
this person is trying to do things, trying to stand up and do
Cool.
certain things. It's just not natural. The body is aching and the body is saying, like, what the hell is happening? Because the body is trying to get back to its normal self, its normal um condition. Because it's not a normal thing, it's not a
It's not a
natural
normal
thing to be
thing.
opened up, you know?
This
And
sorry.
yeah,
This reminds me of the time after Ayaka, guys. There's a time I felt that.
uh not funny. Why are you laughing at that?
This man was literally go, and it was there first. Guys. Anyway, story for that day. It's not
Yeah.
funny because he was
So
so worried, but
yeah, and what made me angry is that I told, don't try to be a hero. Like you at your most weakest state right now, So don't try to be a hero. Don't brave nothing out.
yeah.
Just it's okay. Call for help if like
Mm.
really you feel like you're not being
Listen,
helped or
listen to
something.
the mommies. Even if you
Yeah,
just like let your
even for
person
the smallest
know.
of things. And then for the
And men,
guys,
please,
don't be irritated or don't
every
feel
little
like she's
thing,
nagging.
yeah.
Now you want
She
to take
needs
a walk. Now you want to go chill with your
hey,
friends and have a
support,
drink or what.
support.
No, just be there. Like isolation is the worst thing you can do to a
Mm.
woman during that
Because they
period.
already feel so alone,
Yeah,
and yeah.
and always assure them, reassure them, encourage them, remind them they're doing a fantastic job,
Mm.
those things are very important,
Yeah.
very, very important because it's a time where even when she might look like she has it under control, she does need someone actually
To be like, you're doing a
reminding her
good
and,
job,
and yeah, and
great job, you're a
encouraging
great
her.
mom, you're a
Yeah,
good mom.
those
You're
kind of things.
amazing. Our child has the best. That you think it's nothing,
Yeah,
but it's really something, especially if you're coupling with actions and you're helping and
yeah,
you're just there and just, yeah,
yeah.
like support her as much as you can.
And if you like me, I'm very argumentative. I don't like it when people say stuff that they can't stand up to. So I always ask, I question, I critique.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like me, you like that. Just remember, that time is not the time for it. It's not the time for it. Not
It's a
everything
yes
needs
man
to be,
time.
yeah,
It's
not
like, yeah,
everything needs to
yes,
be explained
yes,
through logical
yes,
reasoning and
yes.
factual understanding.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay now if
Yeah, I
someone has
mean,
a certain
unless if
preference.
your child is being okay, I wouldn't say the mom would do anything to put the child in danger, but I mean, obviously, we're talking about reasonable things
Yeah,
here.
yeah, we're not speaking about
Yeah,
crazy situations,
yeah,
like where there's abuse, where there's
yeah.
all kinds of traumatic things. No, no, no. I'm
Mm,
talking about now we're arguing. Now there's a particular thing, no matter how small or big it is, right? The argument though, it's not necessary to argue the way you'd argue with someone who's pre-pregnancy,
mm-hmm,
because this extends to pregnancy as well.
mm,
Um, you need to be very understanding, very sympathetic if you can't be empathetic, you
mm-hmm.
know, because sometimes it does seem like the requests or the things that make you angry are unreasonable. But it's a period where you need to understand that
It's
hormonal changes, emotional changes,
physical.
physical changes that's a recipe for a disaster if you're trying to now get someone to apply their mind and intellectual capacity
Mm,
to explain certain things. So
yeah.
be sensitive to that. Um, don't, don't be a numpty.
And also just try and be, I would say, romantic as well during that time.
Yeah, yeah, we're getting
Oh,
off.
okay.
You
Yeah, yeah,
never, you never
yeah,
need. Listen, not during pregnancy, not after pregnancy. You always be romantic in your relationship. Remember,
hallelujah.
you guys weren't rostered to be together. No one stood there and
And
randomly
like,
chose numbers to say,
Anele,
Annelle, Michelle,
Michelle,
you
to
guys are
one
gonna be
side,
married.
yeah.
No, no.
Please
You want this person's affection through certain things you are doing. You
do
need to
them
make
even
sure you
more.
keep those things,
Mm,
not just while you are together, before kids, even when the kids are there. You just need to always remind that person. I love her dimples, so I remind her a lot about how amazing her dimples are. I think if it wasn't for the dimples, we wouldn't be together. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I remind her how amazing her dimples are. So those kind of things, and still have fun with your partner as well.
mm-hmm.
Still
If you
continue.
can, like
Yeah,
in the little moments, yeah.
yeah.
If you
So
can,
don't be um um um
tunnel vision.
tunnel vision with your mindset that, all right,
Mm.
right now we're in a war where the baby needs to we need to make sure we're the best parents for the baby. The baby loves an environment that's warm as well,
And
how you interact
calm
with
and
each other.
happy and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those kind of things. That's just as important as the baby eating, because if you're raising a baby that you might feel is naive and dumb and not really um, feeling and seeing the kind of things that are happening. If you guys are shouting at each other or you even cold towards each other, the baby can sense that, and the baby would be
Mm.
a bit rattled up and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So treat each other, especially the man. Treat your woman the way you treated her when you were winning her
When
over.
you're
You
over.
know, continue to do those kind of things. Women love flowers, gents. Women love flowers. Even when she tells you she doesn't, women love flowers. Take it
Mm-hmm.
from me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not Casanova, but I know enough.
Yeah,
I know.
I think
Yeah.
also another point, I don't know if it was part of your points, but I
Mm,
just have to mention that also make her feel good about her body, because
mm,
that's one thing that as a woman, a pregnancy will just
mm. Yeah.
go through your body, like so much changes and all of that, and you just feel different. So if you have your husband, partner really affirming you and still reminding of you how beautiful you look and just loving on you in that state, it helps. Yes, you're still processing how you look now, but at least if the person closest to you in that new phase is also just really admiring your body, like
Yeah.
let her know that you love her still, you love her in this phase, even though she's gonna want to lose the weight or whatever she's gonna want to work on, but you still love and appreciate the body that birthed your child or children.
Yeah.
That's very important. Don't just think it, say it,
Mm.
affirm, hug, love, whatever her love language is. Make sure to keep that up,
Yeah.
even in the period of dryness,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. During the wilderness.
Don't just be like, you're in the
Yeah.
wilderness. Okay, when things are sprouting again, I
Yeah.
will. You need to make sure, even in that, so that she knows that you
Yeah.
love her for her and you still are
Yeah.
attracted to her
And
and
cuddle
stuff.
and
And
hold them and
mhm,
kiss them. It doesn't always have to lead to,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think we should have put a PG or 18.
We're not describing anything,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Don't expect much in that department during that time, and don't
Mm,
pressurize them, and
yeah,
don't
be
sulk.
patient.
Make
Yeah,
them feel
please. But
guilty, and
yeah, that also
now
just
start.
adds
Yeah,
pressure to be like, hi, bo, like,
yeah.
I'm still figuring out and my boobs are leaking. Kwapianuga, yonke into, and you're thinking about it. Come on, come on.
Ipapa lakho belinuka.
Hey, postpartum body odor, please.
Oh,
It's just something else. But Mitchum to the rescue.
yeah. And just remember those things, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, like, that's reality. So she'll
Mm.
sweat a lot as well. Those kind of
Yeah.
things. And be patient about that, and just, yeah, give that support. And also, it's very important to protect her and defend her, because people
Mm.
talk, and
Yeah.
people normally see
We'll just say
something
things.
and feel the need to volunteer things
And
or
you need to
volunteer
be like, yay,
information regarding
not
that,
here, not with my
and
person.
yeah, you have to be
Just
the
be like,
defender. If you don't defend her, you leave her for the vouchers, and the
yeah,
vouchers could be even people who are
very
very close
close with
to
their
her.
opinions, especially the first time your new
Yeah,
mom, hey, you need to do this, the baby needs this. And you
yeah,
decided one thing, you need to be like, this is what we decided. My
yeah,
wife and I said this and that.
yeah,
Please respect her boundaries.
yeah,
Advocate for her.
absolutely.
Please.
Don't let her
Mm.
to stand up for herself.
And you're just like,
You need to stand
let's
up a
allow
lot
what
more.
mom, mom has a good
Yeah,
suggestion. Oh, auntie has a good suggestion. Oh,
yeah.
hey,
Don't team up
mfazi
with
wami
her.
uthe.
Yeah.
That's
When
it.
and whatever decision she makes, um, you discuss with her. If it's something you don't agree on, you
Mm.
know, you explain that as well. It's not that you just say yeah, yeah, yeah. But the
Mm.
moment you guys have agreed that that's what's gonna happen, you don't now turn when someone else comes with a suggestion. For instance, let's say you don't want to cut the baby's hair, for instance. Just I know it's a small example, but there are
Mm.
certain cultural traditions where people believe one thing or the other. If you guys decide we're not going to cut the baby's hair, and then someone comes, presents this, no, we must
Yeah,
cut the
baby's
hair,
one
it's
year
healthy,
now.
or what, or things
So that
like that.
they grow,
Yeah,
it grows at the same length.
yeah. Don't now turn and say, oh no, yeah,
Yeah.
we should do that and whatnot. No, we've
Always be
already discussed
united.
this.
Yeah.
Stand united in
Mm.
public, and
Always.
especially the man, you need to be the chief defender, because already the woman's going through a lot of things. Like the last thing she needs is fighting a battle now,
Mm-hmm.
with someone who's not even in the
In the
household.
household,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, those kind of things, very, very important. Even if it's the closest person in the family, you need to understand now. You need to defend your woman,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and you don't have to be rude about it. It's
Exactly.
just boundaries need to be clear, uh, and don't let certain comments go un
Unchecked.
unchecked.
Let's
Yeah,
check them.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially those, when people are seeing it like, oh, hey, you darker here. Ah, no. Why?
Ungubani kanjani?
Yeah, why? Those kind of things are unnecessary.
Mm.
Um,
Like, hey.
yeah, so
Yeah.
address those kind of things to make sure that the mother of your child
Is
is
happy.
happy and comfortable and safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think the last thing then, so that the video is not too long, um, it's what I kept saying throughout. I started with it and I still mentioned it during, the discussions, is be there, present. Just be present.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be accusing people of being clingy now, and or feeling like, you've got your plans, you've got like your life of your own, because the moment that you leave your woman with the child, it could cause them to go into postpartum depression, which is
Mm.
very, very tricky and very difficult to navigate around. So prevention is better than cure.
Mm-hmm. And being there doesn't mean you have to be sitting right there next day.
Yes,
No, just be present.
just
Like,
be
make sure your
present.
presence is felt. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I know I would need a space, like to myself, even if it's in the shower or
Mm.
if I just need to lie down or whatever. Be around. Like, make sure that you are there, tending to something. You're around, or like
Yeah.
if you're running errands, maybe you've left something, you've made her breakfast, you've done something. Like, your
Mm.
presence is felt. Your support is there. Also, just ask her, like, check in. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you fine? How are you feeling? Are you coping? Is there anything more I can do?
Mm.
Can I support you any further? Like, have regular check-ins with her, with each other. Like, are you
Yeah.
good? You know, whatever you can do to support,
Yeah,
massages, foot massages, whatever, and
absolutely.
just take the initiative to do your own research. Just make sure your presence, your efforts are there
Yeah,
always. And she will, I mean, it doesn't mean that she might not go into it at all. Sometimes other things can cause it,
yeah,
but be there, support. Do you need a therapist? Do I need, just,
yeah,
take initiative. Like, make sure, support. If breastfeeding is a struggle, maybe get a professional, all of those things.
yeah.
It's okay. Just advocate for her, do research, take initiative.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
guys will also decide if you need a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Some couples need that, you know. It's not something you should be embarrassed about. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you decide your life, your schedule would determine how things are going about, and even your mental health will also determine whether you need
Mm,
external help as well, which there's
exactly.
nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely normal, right? So yeah, so what I know about gents is, yeah, the gents try to do everything they can to be away from the house during those kinds of periods, and
Mm,
that's not good. It's
it's
not
not the way
not the best way to
to
handle
handle
things, you know,
things.
because you hear guys say, "Oh no, I need to breathe during a shower more," and it can be very very frustrating because obviously, like I said, the baby is very dependent on the mom, so she
Mm,
can't go out and breathe or shower more, you know.
mm.
So be understanding in that regard, and just always be there. And yeah, yeah, I think we can leave it there.
At that,
There's
yeah.
one thing I don't know though. Now, I know I've heard from various people.
Mm,
I've heard from various people that after they give birth, the woman after she gives birth, then she starts having this disdain or this hatred towards the husband, you know. And I've heard it quite frequently. You know, I don't know. Luckily, I never had to go through that, you know. But some people do go through that. Um, for those who do go through, what I've also heard is that it's a lot of emotional imbalances and hormonal imbalances, and those frustrations that some of them we've touched on. You know,
mm-hmm.
when that happens as well, don't just leave the person and cases are like I know I'm done. Just understand that thing does happen. It's quite common. I've heard like a few times. Haven't read up on it, but I will probably, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because I've heard people have gone through it. So yeah, it's just it happens for a period, and then it passes. I don't know the best way to navigate around that, but I'm just giving you a heads up. Like if you ever have to go through that,
I think just exercise the same tips
yeah,
because eventually the hormones will regulate
yeah,
and the heart will soften, especially if you just practice kindness during that period
yeah,
and extend grace as much as possible. And
absolutely, yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
should be fine. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Because yeah, just keep in mind that hey, things aren't normal right now. It's not a normal situation,
Mm.
and
So a normal reaction is not needed. An extraordinary,
yeah,
graceful reaction is needed.
yeah. And one thing I learned, one of the best advices I received um, when I got married was that after today there'll be tomorrow, and after tomorrow there'll be another day.
Mm.
So don't try to finish everything today or tomorrow.
Mm.
It's not a sprint; it's a marathon, you know.
Definitely.
So have
Mm-hmm.
patience. Remember that what's happening today will not determine what happens tomorrow because tomorrow will have new opportunities. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let me leave it there.
Mm.
I'll start preaching. Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment because we do love the engagement and interaction.
Yeah,
And
please,
share the videos
guys.
with others as well. Maybe you've got a friend or a sister or a cousin or whoever
Who needs this
who
video?
needs this video,
Mm.
might be having a baby. You might not know how they're coping, you know. So just
Yeah.
share this. They may relate to certain things, you know. And if not, we hope you did still find entertainment in it.
Yeah,
And we
leave
hope
a
you tune in for the next
comment.
videos.
Yes,
All
and we'll
right.
see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.